On February 4th of 2019, Apex Legends was launched. Somewhere about a month after the game's launch, Apex Legends hit its all-time player peak. After the player peak, the Apex community lost a very large portion of its player base, but really ever since then, the game has been very consistently growing. So in this video, I'm going to take a look at the different features and aspects of Apex Legends that makes this game so much fun and unique, and why these different features and aspects will keep driving Apex Legends in an upwards direction, and why this game may very well be the game of the future. I'm Alarmix, and let's get into the video. So the very first reason that Apex Legends might be the best game, and something we kind of take for granted, people, is the in-depth lore that this game offers. It's not every day where you see backstory and lore so developed in a game. Apex Legends takes place in the Titanfall universe, and Titanfall 2 was one of the best received shooters of this century. The Titanfall 2 campaign was supposed to be pretty epic, and the devs of this game actually took a lot of that lore and backstory and somehow applied it to Apex Legends. We know the story behind the Apex games. The Apex games is a blood sport that takes place in the Outlands after the IMC and Frontier Militia War, and then each legend in this game was designed to have its specific backstory and personality. It is really awesome to see lore and backstory bringing life to legends that otherwise is just coding inside of a game. Like Wraith, she is just a person that had a really tragic and scarring past, and Pathfinder is trying to find his creator, and the way he is trying to find his creator is by making a name for himself in the Apex games, in hopes that wherever his creator may be, that he will recognize his creation, Pathfinder. Like people, even King's Canyon has a pretty cool backstory. After the IMC won the Frontier War, the IMC stationed a bunch of different science labs on different spots of King's Canyon. It is rumored that they experimented with phase shift gear down there, and from the Voidwalker trailer, that certainly seems true. And then while the IMC used those different labs, before the Apex games even existed, they created a place called Thunderdome. Thunderdome is where the Apex games took place before the Apex games even existed. Thunderdome is where the soldiers would entertain themselves and where soldiers would blow off steam. So how it seems it worked is as they were experimenting with phase shift gear on the labs, when the soldiers would get mad at each other about whatever it may be, it seems that soldiers would say 1v1 me in Thunderdome, basically battle me to the death. And then the Syndicate is the group that actually came and made the Apex games a thing. They came in and built around whatever was already on King's Canyon Island, and it was chose that they would keep Thunderdome from the original Apex games created by the soldiers. So yes, people, this much of in-depth lore and backstory is not really a super common occurrence in today's day and age of video gaming, and it really just brings a lot of life to a video game that in the end is just a bunch of coding, obviously. Like even the tussle that we got between Revenant and Loba lately in the Season 4 launch trailer, it is really just super unique to see. Another thing that makes Apex Legends quite possibly and arguably the best game is the pinging system that this game has originally brought to the video gaming industry. The pinging system in this game makes it super easy to communicate a lot of information pretty much on the dot super quickly. Like just from the press of one button, you can ping a gun on the ground, your teammates will know exactly where it is, and also your character will say what gun it is. But more importantly, when you're running around the map looking for people and you want to check out a specific area, all you have to do is click one button and your teammates will see exactly what place you're thinking about. In the past on PC, you would have had to go into chat and type out what you wanted to say, and on console, if you didn't have a mic, you were kind of screwed, or you could have very slowly typed out what you wanted to say. But I mean, people, imagine the day and age where we didn't have a pinging system like this, and then you hopped into a game with a bunch of random squad mates and no one had a mic. I mean, that really puts your squad at such a huge disadvantage versus the other squads who just simply had a microphone. Because if you're getting rushed and you see someone coming at you, all you have to do is you can ping enemy, you can ping people that are coming after you, and everyone on your squad will know. I think that the pinging system is by far one of the most important features we've ever seen to come to a video game in the modern day and age, because you guys all know how notorious video games are for having a bunch of little 3-year-olds who scream in their mics, or who have broken microphones, or teams who don't have mics at all. It can all be super inconsistent, but now with a pinging system, you can accurately describe where you want to go, enemies. There are a bunch of different options on the ping wheel, you know, like attacking here, defending here, looting this area, people have been here, all that kind of stuff. And I think we really take for granted how amazingly awesome this pinging system is in the game. And certainly, even when you have a squad full of people with mics, it comes in super handy because you don't have to go go up top and look at the compass and, you know, roughly describe where you want to go. Or if there's enemies coming, you don't have to sit there and describe to your teammates over the mic where they're coming from. You can just instantly ping enemy or ping an area, and it's really just super convenient. The next thing that Apex Legends really has over most of the other games is just the fact that really all skill levels have an opportunity to succeed in this game. Most of us content creators look at skill-based matchmaking as really such a huge negative in this game, and that's because us content creators, we take this game a lot more seriously, and most of us have been playing this game for quite a while, so we do have some decently developed skills in this game. And then the better players in this game always end up getting matched against the other better players in this game. That's just how skill-based matchmaking works. But then you have to think about the flip side of this, where the people who are trying out Apex Legends, this wonderful game, for the very first time, they don't want to get absolutely stomped and have zero chance against Predator players. Now guys, in my opinion, I think games like Call of Duty, they're a little bit more simple, and the time to kill in Call of Duty can be pretty low. So I do think at the end of the day in Call of Duty, low skill players will sometimes kill the higher level skilled players, but in Apex Legends, that is really not the case. When you have things like fully maxed out Evo shields and guns like the Wingman and Peacekeeper that take a lot of practice to master, this leads to a pretty high skill gap that Apex Legends takes to master. And for low skill level players in this game to kill high skill level players, I think a really weird anomaly would have to occur just because of the huge skill gap in this game that Apex Legends has, in my opinion. But when people, brand new players, are testing out this game and they can play people who are either really bad at this game or people who are also just testing it out, they can get a positive experience, and it really just gives this game a better chance at growing in the future, and for these players to keep on playing this game and not go to any other game because Predators are completely stomping them and they have zero chance. The next advantage that this game has over other titles is the fact that Apex Legends, it is kind of a revision of the Titanfall series, one of the best received first-person shooters that really the video gaming industry has ever seen. The guns in Titanfall 2, you know, the Flatline, the Carbine, the R9, all the guns that we see in Apex Legends today, they were in the Titanfall series. So it's really insane to think that Apex Legends could rip off all of these guns, these gun metas, and bring them over to a game like Apex Legends. That really just set the ground for the Apex Legends game we see today. The next thing that makes Apex Legends just really better than other titles in general is the movement that this game offers. I think it is pretty well known that the Apex Legends movement system is really well done. When you first start playing Apex Legends, it will take a little while to master the movement and perfect your movement skills to where you're fluid, and it helps you a lot in the game. So the different movement techniques there are in this game that'll help you a lot. It starts off with things that are as easy as slide jumping to help you move faster. Also, if you're on the ledge of something, you can slide off the very end of that to get a little bit of a speed boost. With the climbing in this game, something that's really cool that you can do is if you're going forward and you hold down jump, you can pretty much stick to any sort of surface and you'll climb up different walls that don't even really have, you know, steps to do so. Like in the parking garage on World's Edge, you can actually scale up that building from a bunch of different ways. There are a whole bunch of different movement techniques you can do to make yourself harder to hit with zip lines. It starts off with things that are as easy as when you're going up to a zip line and you just want a little bit of a speed boost, you can attach and detach and it'll fling yourself forward. On the zip line on the parking garage, when you're going up that, you can attach and detach from side to side and make yourself really hard to hit. But if you're not that advanced, if you know what I'm talking about, when you're going up a zip line, you can just move your view back and forth and you'll actually kind of twirl around the zip line and it'll make your character a lot harder to hit. In this game, we actually have wall bouncing or wall jumping, and we also have b-hopping for those PC players. I mean, people, there are just so many different movement mechanics in this game that are sort of hidden, but you can actually get really good with these things. And if you go ahead and look up these things and try to master them for yourselves, you will really see why Apex Legends is such a complex game and why it is really so good. But just quickly, I think one of the cooler things that you can do, one of the easier things you can do with these movement mechanics is if you're crawling up a wall and during the animation while you're crawling, you take your fingers off your movement inputs, so your keys or your left joystick, and then you can actually jump and it'll cancel the crawl up animation and it'll like fling you backwards. So yeah, people, there are a lot of really interesting movement mechanics in Apex Legends. Something else that helps this game stand out from other games and makes this game great is the fact that team chemistry plays a huge role in this game. Each character with its unique personality and unique set of abilities will interact differently with the other legends on your squad. So before you even go into the game, It's a really good choice to pick with your squad, a really good team composition. So in most cases, you're going to want a defensive legend, an aggressive legend, and then Wraith. So a really good team composition example is Wraith, Pathfinder, and then Watson. Or you could even go Wraith, Pathfinder, and Gibraltar. When you get into sticky situations in this game, you can use things like Pathfinder, zip lines to help you get out of there, Wraith portals, even the Gibby Dome Shield can help you a lot. It's really unique out of all of the titles there currently are in the video game market to just see these unique set of abilities really just merge so well into the game and not really be overpowered. Wraith is arguably one of the best legends in this game, and all her abilities is being invincible for a few seconds. You can put down a portal to transport your team from point A to point B, and also you get a notification when you're being aimed at. These abilities really aren't too overpowered in my opinion, but just how these abilities were applied to this game makes them super useful and super unique, and most of all, super fun to play with. But that will wrap it up for this video. Hit that subscribe button for more interesting Apex Legends videos just like this, and also giving the video a like helps so much. And guys, maybe tell me something else that makes Apex Legends super unique. I always read through all the comments and you guys say really interesting stuff, but that will be about it for me, the Alarmix, and I'll see you guys later.